Evening, folks. Welcome back to the channel. Great. I'm just realized I've noticed this before, but I'm just realizing it could be a problem. Just not a huge problem, but it's the fact that my phone chimes off for 5 till, and then I look at the clock on my laptop, and it will still say 1854. Everything's on the Wi-Fi, so I don't know why this is not even 30 seconds behind. I'd say I don't want to like start consistently going live at 7:01 p.m. and then folks like WTF and just like no, I wait until it says 1900 and then I go live. I don't under it. So if that's why I try to wait for it to turn to 1900 7 p.m. and then go live, but I'm just realizing, wait, I might be 30 seconds behind. So if that's what's happening, I sorry, it's not a delay. It's just Windows 11. Oh, maybe I can just go. If it's an issue, I'll just think to go live. So you can't really set an alarm clock for like you can set it for minutes, but not say um 6:59 p.m. and 30 seconds. I'll work if it becomes an issue. I'll work on it. I'm just noticing just time issues. If you're on a strict schedule, then it's a thing. If not, some people are not. They're not going to notice or care. So there's that. With that in mind, I was thinking if I did have to premiere videos. Ugh, God. Last I knew, if you premiere a video, it takes about 2 minutes before it actually premieres. So say if you have it set up to go up at 7 p.m. Yes, it is live. Yes, the chat room's open, but then everybody in there has to suffer through the YouTube countdown thing. It's not even music. It's noise. It's supposed to be music. Like it's not a song, and it's just like the ugliest color schemes and patterns you've ever seen put together for 2 solid minutes. And then it gets like down to the last 10 seconds and it's even worse, and then the video premieres. It's been like that since forever. I don't premiere videos. Sometimes some of the channels I follow that upload remixes will premiere a video like super early, like premiere this video at 7 a.m. before I'm even awake. But it's if it's later on and I catch it, I do have to sit through that, so I tell myself to like not go for the first 2 minutes. So with that in mind, you don't want that nasty sound in your head before you listen to music anyway. So with that in mind, if I ever do premiere videos, it'll be say a video's going up at 7 p.m. But what I'll do, I'll schedule it for 6:58 p.m. So if anybody does want to skip any of that sound, they can. If I premiere a video and it says 7 p.m. or whatever time, you can show up right up at that time and see the video. You don't gotta sit through any of that premiere stuff. So I want to say, yeah, they changed it because one time I watched a premiere and that countdown was not an eye strain mess, but it was literally for one channel, and then ever since then it's not you can't escape it. It doesn't matter how many subs you have, nothing. So the biggest channel has it, the smallest channel has it. You're just stuck with it. But just to make it so people don't have to sit through that. Oh my goodness. Oh, Dandy, what's up? Glad you made it. Where is everyone? LOL. I don't know. It's a Saturday, so they might be doing Saturday stuff. I don't. Sometimes folks file in late. I don't really know what people get up to at 7 p.m. on a Saturday usually. Sometimes it's just a thing where like folks are like somebody's making dinner, somebody's on a phone call, somebody had to go out of town. Like it will work out sometimes that at 7 p.m. everybody has stuff come up, and then they all show up back to another show like, oh hey, I missed the last one, and somebody's like, yeah, me too. So it just happens. I don't know, and I can't see I never have it up with my stats that show how many viewers I have currently, or how many likes I'm getting currently, just because I'm afraid it will slow down my equipment and it already has enough trouble. So I don't know that. There might be, it could be 1,000 people watching and just Dandy commenting. I wouldn't know. It could just be him in here. I don't know. I see that after the show. Oh, too much salt. After the show, that's when I've got to, change the title and update it with the number of episodes I managed to cover. And that's when I can see, oh, okay, that many people watched it, that many people liked it. And I just see that in YouTube Studio after the fact. My first show, though, I did have that stuff up. That was nice. I might try doing that again just to see. Dandy, LOL, true. Yeah, it happens. Like, sometimes folks will, like, they'll show up to, like, here, or quite frankly, and they say hi, and then they don't talk for like an hour. It's like, I don't know what's going on. You dropped your phone, what? But then they come back, they're like, okay, I'm back. And it's just like the neighbor came over and there was a thing and this and that. So it's like, oh, okay, I'm glad you're okay, but why's it got to happen at 7 p.m.? But, like, don't you know what I do? But I'm busy at this time. But it just happens like that. Or folks have a family's coming in from out of town, and it just happens to be like, oh, it's 7:15. There's a knock on the door, and then that's a or like, oh, that's why I never said anything in the chat room because I had something happen. We see him the next day. It's like, oh, good. It's kind of, I understand stuff happens. You hopefully it's something good. It's not like, oh, there was an explosion outside. I had to run and see what it was, and it wasn't my car. So that's just how it goes. I really don't know. Just after going to the show for 11 years, I don't know what people really do at 7 p.m. Because even on Sunday and Friday, I'll still, like yesterday, I think I was just wrapping up. I think I just was putting the laptop on the charger, just playing some Minecraft. I happened to look at the clock, and it's at 7:08. So just whatever I'm doing, I always manage to know when it's 7 o'clock, no matter what I'm doing. Even if I'm not looking at a clock, and I would just be taking Dark Shadows notes, I'll turn around and look at it. It's behind me on purpose. I'll look, and it's like 7:03. Like, I wasn't planning that, especially with daylight savings time. Do you think would mess people up? Not me, because I keep the window blocked off, so I don't really. It's not really affecting me the way it has in prior years. It's too much to have to fight with to adjust it when I'm watching TV. Just to have to cover everything back up when I'm playing Minecraft. Because when I play Minecraft, I have to have the light as much as I can blocked off from there. I got to have that lamp on, which sits on the other side of me. But then I'll have one of these. It's like a black bandana, and I have it taped up on the wall because the wall is white, just to stop some of that glare from coming in. And then I also take an old black T-shirt to wrap it around the base because it's silver. I just can't have any of that light reflecting. Mind you, I've been up for 2 hours at this point, so my eyes are still just that wrecked. And then I've got to set this up behind me, but I tip it on. I have it sitting right now. It's on its side. I have it sitting right way up, and I've got a purple sheet. I've used it before in my earliest videos. It's not even at all. I don't know who cut this thing. It does not make a square or nothing. But I'll hang that up just because it's like a dark color. And then so I'll have that like behind the laptop. And then I've got the lights blocked off from the side. And then I also wear a hat. Not this hat, but it's just like some generic straw hat that I've got at Walmart. I don't know, like a year or so ago. So I've got to have my hat on. So I'm, just basically gaming like this, and then do it like that so I can see. But then if I game anytime after about 6 or 7 p.m., I don't have to wear the hat. So that's nice. Oh, what's up, I bitch slap Satan? Glad you made it. Busy listening. Oh, piling wood for the winter months. Yeah, winter is coming. Winter though is coming. Yeah, it's kind of nice to like I'm sweating a little bit, but not as much as I would if it was warm out. So I get to wear my Not Today Satan Gray Still Plays shirt. Ugh, I feel like I'm shorter today. I feel thinner today, but I guess I'm short. It's so hard to get everything. You want the shot to always look the same. Like, I watched my last show and I spent the whole show like off to the side, just ever so slightly. I was like, well, maybe if I sit to the side, I won't know. My bad. Sometimes it just goes together like that. That's how you know it's real. You can tell it's a real show that doesn't use any kind of AI, that doesn't like correct the shot. It's really like this in real life. Except I'm thinking, I'm noticing this because the frames on these are purple. I got them purple on purpose and have gotten all kinds of hell. Just from the place I got them from. They're still, it's been a year and a half. They're still not made correctly. But I can't see it. Like I can see it when I'm setting up. Like I'll set up and I'll have the camera on and I'll have my thing here and I'm getting my hair and doing all that stuff and I can see that these are purple. I can see it right now. But then I do my own show and I can't tell. It's supposed to be 1080p. WTF? Oh my God, Dandy! Oh, it's supposed to snow a bit on Sunday. No, say it ain't so. That's terrible. Oh, Patrick, what's up? Glad you made it. Dandy using baking soda and coconut oil. Uh, what does that do? I can't use anything coconut. That's why I'm like, what? It gives me a headache. Erica, what's up, Erica? Ask if I watch Frank on Fridays. Not since he stopped doing, quite frankly, on Fridays. Frank does do go like I was saying every other week. He goes live on his secondary channel on Fridays, and then I forget what he does every other Friday to that. Um, I know he does a Saturday show, but that's on Pilled. We've been over that. I can't use that chat room, so there's no point in me going there. And it's only 720p, and then after an hour, it sounds like it's coming through a tin can. So if you have poor vision and tinnitus, that's no fun for you. So I have not. I don't. I can't use Pilled. I have an account there, but I can't do anything. I can't like go into that chat room and chat or anything. So it's if I can't use the chat room there, it's not at a place. It's nothing to me. Oh no! I bitched up Satan said snow last night melted by 11 a.m. Yikes! Oh, Erica says her kitty is purring. Oh, cat. Aw, I miss my cats. Uh, yeah, if it's not quite frankly related, it's not in my sphere. I don't. It's but like people are allowed to do other things. I'm not saying you can't. I just it's not quite frankly. It's kind of like when you see an actor on a show and you like him, but then you watch him on another show and it's maybe like they're not getting enough scenes, so it's just not as good of an experience. I don't. I'm not saying that's what I don't know. I don't know what Frank's other shows are like. If Frank did a Saturday show for quite frankly, and it was on YouTube, that's another story. I can use that chat room. So, but no, I don't go to that. And then I only watch that channel live. So yes, he does premiere his Saturday shows after the fact, as on Fridays, like every other Friday. But it's not live, so I'm not. I don't do that. I've always watched, quite frankly. I understand like why he has additional content. You want other people to check it out. You like not everybody has the patience for a 2 hour show, so he's gonna put out a video of just clips to get people to watch it. I get it. That's if I had the patience for it, I would do that for me too. Um, but if he's clipping the show, I've already seen the show, so it's I've already seen it. You don't gotta browbeat me with it. I've just Erica. Yeah, live is better. It's different. Like yeah, you can watch a premiere and be chatting. That's okay. We've done that, but it's just it's different when it's live. It's in the moment. It's anything can happen. It's as sirens go by. I don't know if it's at my house or at the studio. It's just it's different when it's live. And again with that channel, if he's showing a premiere of something, I've seen it before. If it's on Saturday, if it's on Pilled, I just don't need to see it, and that's for any channel. If Grace Still Plays went live on Pilled, I would make an exception for him. That's a bad example. He doesn't go live. He did live shows in 2016. Those are still up. I've watched them. They're good. That was before I found his channel, so that doesn't really count. But he's a video uploader, so that's just what he does. I would check him out live because that would be something rare, but it's not like that with Quite Frankly. So and uh, like this channel does better live. That's why I do live shows. My live shows do better than my videos, so that's why I'm kind of I do prefer being live, and I'm glad that works out for this channel because I like it best. So I could upload a video, but I would be thinking in the back of my head, like, here, I'm going to put all this effort into putting out something that's only going to do half as well as if I could have just been sat in front of my equipment. So I would rather have to like deal with sort of like the extra stress of knowing if something goes live, like you're just fucked up live, you're just kind of, oh well, fuck, versus if you're recording, you can always re-record it. I'm not really good on second takes, so if I'm reading a line for the 15th time, just it's not gonna work. Erica says, I don't blame you not watching on Fridays. Yeah, like it's fine if you want to do other content somewhere else at the same time. Uh, he did start off that first show on that channel with AI in the title, and I'm not about that. I have to hear about it enough. I don't need it in my life. I don't need that kind of negativity in my life. There's enough bad out there. I'm not going to like tune in to see content that nobody made anywhere. I bitch that Satan. I went from Carmex to castor oil, and I'm a old bitch. Works well. Yeah, I've got well, when I bought that Carmex, it was a 3-pack, and I think I still have a full one left. I don't have castor oil. I mean, they sell it at Walmart, but I'm sure that's not the good stuff. Let's see. Let's talk about some Dark Shadows. If you haven't seen it, it is on Tubi for free right now. The link's in the description for the show and for the channel. And then I found it, I mentioned I found it on the Internet Archive. Well, somebody on Tumblr found it and I just shared the link. That's going to go out on Sunday. So you can watch it for free. You can even download it if you want to. Internet Archive is not going to tell you what episodes they skipped. So once you get past episode 209, it's going to get wonky for you. But aside from that, it's all there for free. So where did we leave off? It was Victoria had gone to Lookout Point and just, oh, cool, a silver pen just sitting on the beach, take it home, writing with it. Roger saw it. He recognizes it. So when he got an opportunity, he just stole it. And then Victoria goes to look for it. David's there. They can't find it. She thinks he borrowed it. Well, he didn't, so he's going to get her back by he has her go up into the West Wing. Oh, I left your pen up here. Then he locks her in the room, yells at her, I hope you die, and just leaves her there, goes back to his room, goes downstairs, and has a glass of milk and a slice of pie. So Victoria is having the worst day. I bitch slapped Satan or Amazon organic castor oil, no Walmart. Yeah, I would look at Walmart for something like that. Listening in front of the fire, nice. Fires are so cool. Controlled fires, we don't really we don't condone arson. That's not cool. So we pick up on episode 85 from October 21st, 1966. It's still that 10th day. It's nighttime. There's a thunderstorm going on. It's lightning. It's a big one. And we open on that room in the West Ring, that secret room. And she's just hollering for help. It's futile with the noise outside, but she's hollering for help, beating on the door. Somebody's got to be there. There's nobody on the other side of that door. This is interesting. I'm going to start pointing this out more when it happens, but usually when the show starts up, it's just like the intro music and then Victoria's voiceover. But since we have a thunderstorm going on, there's a thunder crash, and that goes right into the intro theme song. It's very cool. Listen for that. There's other times I wish it would have. It's like they're not paying attention to that. They could have done so much more with that later on when they get the opportunity. If there's a storm going on at the start of the show, it just like start the thunder and lightning sounds, like crash, then start like wait a beat, then the intro music. But they just kind of seem to rush it sometimes. But in this instance, very cool, very dramatic. I'm like, if I wasn't scared that she was locked in her room by herself, I'm getting really creeped out just from the intro. So now we're down in the living room and just opening up the window. It storms rolling in. People open up windows, and that might sound counterintuitive, but they're up on a hill. Like, you know how like it just gets so windy and you can smell the rain before a storm blows in. So maybe they just want to like get a whiff of that fresh air. I would do that too. I imagine a lot of places there's enough of an overhang where if you open a window, like the rain's not going to blow directly into it. But Carolyn, she's wearing a sleeveless dress, and it's just got this little bow on the left shoulder, like it's just sewn into it. That's just part of the design. And she's got her hair up. She's got the bangs. And she's wearing these tiny pearl ear. Like when Liz wears a pearl, it's bigger. It's maybe about the size of a nickel. Like the size of your thumbnail. You're gonna notice it. But Carolyn's wearing like hers are a little bit smaller. It's got the one little pearl with a teeny tiny little diamond hanging underneath it. It's just very. You really have to. Yeah, blink and you'll miss it. But she's kind of just uppity. She's not going to sit around while Joe's out with another girl because Joe had that dinner date with Maggie. So Carolyn just told her just right away, just told him to get out. But Liz lets her know, like, you are overreacting. After the way you were chasing after Burke, I'd have taken out a dozen girls by now. It's like the world does not revolve around Carolyn Stoddard. Carolyn, she don't care. She doesn't want to talk about it. She's gonna go out and have a good time with anyone. I just why did I wrote my notes wrong. I understand it, but I usually write like an at symbol, and then like I've got my shorthand for where people are at. But I didn't write that. I know where we are. We're at the Blue Whale. Now we are. So Sam walks in. Burke's already sitting there at a table. He's got a drink or two in front of him, and he just kind of seems a little not himself. You can tell he's really been hitting the bottle. So he's, oh, hey, there's my good buddy Sam. Why don't you come join me? And just old time's sake. And Sam's like, let me, I gotta use the phone first. Hang on. So he gets on the phone, just like, oh, Maggie, I'm just here at the Blue Whale. And it's the way he talks, kind of, flowery the way he does. What? No, no, I'm not drunk yet. I haven't been drinking. So he's just calling to say he's going to be home in a half an hour. And that's when she's like, we don't hear her. He's just, reacting to what she's saying. Like, oh, who's coming over? Joe Haskell. Oh, I don't know about that, but you're a big girl. Are you sure that's wise? But it's a while. He's just checking in, hangs up. It goes and joins Burke. And Burke, this is the first time he's been drunk since he came back to Collinsport. And he really thought he thought he'd get everything Roger had, and he would have just been done with the whole thing by now. It's so funny to see like Sam is the sober, logical one talking to somebody else who's just that fucked up. And Sam basically tells him like, you can't be a dick to everyone and expect to find friends. Like, remember when he was at the inn? He still is, but Mr. Wells was saying how not one person from Burke's past has come to visit him or called him since he got back into town. Like all these people he knew, he grew up in this town, but nobody's trying to get in touch with him now that he's back. But he's not been trying to make friends. He's had his one goal, his one focus. He's not trying to shoot the breeze with anybody or catch up on old times. Nothing. So he's just a different guy. But they decide, let's just put it all away for one night, and here, have a drink on me, Sam. Let's drink to amnesia, and cheers, like let's just like not fight for one night and just drink together and be pals. So okay, that's what they're gonna do. So I can respect that. But we'll go back to hating each other at 8 a.m. and they don't really hate each other. They just really don't get along. Well, like Burke, of course, will have a drink every so often, but we've never seen him like, hey, times everybody gets we've never. I didn't even think he was that kind of guy, but here he is acting like that. It's like, oh. So back at Collinwood in the foyer, Liz doesn't want Carolyn to go out. Plus, there's that big ass storm going on outside. They don't mention it, but we can hear it. Like, I don't want you going out. You mentioned Burke. I know you. She knows how her daughter thinks. Like, I don't want you going out. Oh, Carolyn. Oh, I didn't mean it. And Liz asks, well, have you seen Victoria anywhere around? And Carolyn just, oh, she must be out. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Ah. Oh, I can't believe this happens. Oh, you might not want to watch this episode, but. So, Carolyn opens the doors to Collinwood. She has an umbrella, and she opens it. I understand the characters outside, but everything here is indoors, so it's like walking under a ladder or scratching your palm when it itches. You just I'm so I hope nothing. She already had tragedy strike her when she got her bangs cut, so maybe it was like a preemptive for bad luck for that, but we don't see a lot of umbrella opening on the show, so it's a special occasion. You hate to see it. So then we see the secret room again, and it's just Victoria. She's just kind of just stuck in there. It seems like she's realizing the yelling's not going to work. She can't batter down the door. That window's up too high, so she's just kind of defeated. And there's that cop there, so just kind of just lies down on it. What the hell else can you do? It's probably cold anyway. She's just done. Yeah, we're at the Blue Whale. Yeah, Andy the bartender. Hell, hey Andy, another round. So he never gets lines. He's just like delivering drinks, breaking up fights. But Sam and Burke are getting lit up. I'm gonna assume it's been more than a half an hour. They got these empty glasses in front of them. Sam's feeling it, so he's his usual drunk self, and they're just having a good time and talking about anything. And Sam's saying how like he can feel the ghosts at Collinwood every time he looks up at that building. He can just feel them. Burke's like, how do you know they're there? Sam's like, why are we whispering? like I can sense them because I'm an artist. And then Burke gets on, and Burke is very kind of stuck in his own head half of the time, but then he starts talking about how he would never want to scare Victoria, and he likes her more than anyone at Collinwood. And this is when Sam admits, like Burke's like, come on, admit it. You can tell me now that it's all over. Like you really thought Bill Malloy was murdered, didn't you? And Sam does admit it. He really thought that Bill was killed, and he hopes Bill's ghost finds whatever he's after. And then they start singing Bill Malloy's favorite song. What would you do with a drunken sailor? So right then, as they're, like singing their song and drunk and, arm around, I don't know if they have their arm around each other, but, having a good time. Carolyn walks in. And, she sees Burke having a good time, so she's happy that he's happy, so I'm sure she's glad she walked in. And walks up to the table like, oh, there's a Miss Stoddard. Hey, I don't think Sam and Carolyn have had much time to. Why would they interact? So it's odd to see people together who would never normally hang out together for any reason. But Carolyn walks up. She's so happy to see Burke. One of the first things out of his mouth, he's oh, where's your boyfriend? Carolyn says, I don't have one. Then Burke says, oh, well, where's Miss Winters? You should have brought Victoria. She is not happy to hear that. But that's when Sam remembers, I told Maggie I was going to be home. I got to go. She's got a dinner guest coming over, and he's looking at Carolyn as he says this. Carolyn's like, it's Joe Haskell, isn't it? And then it's Sam's. He's holding his hat in front of him. Great hat acting. He looks so nervous. He's just holding on to the edges of it like, yeah, well, yeah, I gotta go. Thanks for the drinks. Bye. Yeah. Did I say, Sam, did I say that? Yeah. He just gets out of there. So it's so strange. Like we're in this, the bar. It's a nice, cozy place, one story tall, people laughing, having a good time, music. And then we go back to that secret room at the West Wing. That's just the polar opposite of that. Nobody's having a good time. But as Victoria, she's just, lying on that cot, just kind of half awake, half asleep, just trying to sleep away the night, whatever. It's just, we can't even see her face. It's kind of maybe just the top of her head, but she's just, lying there. Then off to the side, over by the door, we start to see this apparition fill in. And it's it's a ghost. It's a guy in a trench coat, and it looks just soaking wet. And he's got something on him. It's like the trench coat is a light color, so we can see whatever is like draped on the shoulders. It's like seaweed. It's very. It's a little bit fuzzy too because they've got to like film an actor somewhere else and then like put him on the screen, so it's not going to be crystal clear. But we can tell that's what it is. It's obviously a guy. But he starts to speak and he's telling Victoria, he repeats the same thing about 3 times, and he's telling her to get away from Collinwood before she's killed. And of course that woke her up because as soon as you start hearing another voice, so she was sitting up and watching this whole thing. But it fades away, and of course, anybody would think they were dreaming. But as she goes to walk to where it just was she looks down and she's shocked because on the floor is some wet seaweed. There wasn't seaweed on the floor before. And we see the blue whale for the credits. Now I know Victoria doesn't believe in ghosts, but if you see something and then there's like suddenly things there that were not there before, that would mostly convince me. I would be I've seen spooky stuff happen, but I've never seen things just appear in front of me. I think that would make me a believer. That is creepy as hell. You're locked in a room, you see a ghost. Terrible night for her. And it's not even done. So we're on episode 86. That was October 24, 1966. And we're still on that 10th day. We got that thunderstorm going on. Now it's raining. Now it's raining. Nighttime, of course. And we're down in the foyer. Liz is asking David if he's seen Victoria. Nope, he hasn't seen her. And he hasn't seen her, and he doesn't want to. So Roger's over in the living room. He's basically saying, like, well, she's a big girl. She can take care of herself. So up in the secret room, Victoria, she's up against that door. Instead of like yelling for help now she's like her voice is. It's almost like she's afraid to get too loud, and she's like, David, I'm sorry, I accused you of stealing the pen, and but I won't tell your father or your aunt if you just let me out. And she's really trying to negotiate, but again, we see the other side of the door. There's nobody there. So in the living room, David, he's always got an answer for everything. Oh, maybe Victoria is out with Carolyn. Roger's like, Carolyn's out? And Liz says, yeah, by herself. But when's the last time you saw her? David's like, I don't know, maybe a ghost took her. Liz says, go to bed. And so he leaves, and then Liz is saying to Roger that she's never seen Carolyn so upset over the whole Joe thing. And Roger's like, he doesn't care about Joe anyway, so he doesn't care if somebody's upset about him. Roger's like, well, I hope she has fun without him. Next thing we see is the door to Burke's room opening up. Biddy turns on the light, and in walks himself and Carolyn. And he goes into the kitchen and asks if she wants a drink. Now, before she went up there, and he asked if she wanted a drink, she just wanted a ginger ale. So now that she's up there, do you want a drink? She's like, yeah, make me a drink. And she's like, make me something strong, but not too strong, or just being vague like that. Like, what do you want? Like a beer, or do you want rum? What do they have on the show? Whiskey, bourbon? I'm starting to think now, as much as like Roger drinks, I don't think they say what he's drinking. And again, it's black and white, so it's not clear, so he's not drinking vodka or gin. I'll have to pay attention to that. I mean, like later on, they tell us what some alcohols are, but as of right now, we don't know. Is he a rum guy? Is it bourbon? Scotch? Is he just taking a Jack Daniels to the head? Which, I mean, Jack Daniels is like, what, 75, 80 proof? Uh-oh. I lost my pen. Can't continue. No. Oh, let me check the audio. Hold on. Let me turn this on and then grab another pen. Yeah. It's the one time I don't do it. At least while the sun's on a water sign. Oh, what's up, John? Glad you made it. Yeah, smash that like button right meow. Just checking my... Oh, I gotta go to my own show first. This is how all of the professional YouTubers do it. Oh, I can't look at my own video there. Can I watch it here? There we go. This is how the pros do it. They got to stop midstream to check their audio. Um, all of the professional. And I don't know why my hair looks like this. I did the exact same stuff I always do, braided it, and it just did the extra frizzy thing. I don't know why. That's okay. Again, that's how you know it's real. All right, let me cover this up just a second. And oh, grab a pen. Uh, I don't know if it'll show up, but the pen does not, the ink does not run all the way to the bottom of the pen anymore. It gets stuck somewhere in the middle and doesn't keep writing. And that's sad because a Crystal Bic pen is the best thing you can write with if you're writing longhand. I don't know, it's weird. Yeah, so Carolyn gets her drink. We don't know what's in it. Maybe it's mostly water with a splash of whiskey in it or something. Oh, hang on. There we go. But they got their drinks. Hey, how about some music? Oh, John Rogers says, I got busy with my defense toys. Hell yeah, get to a. I'd love to get to the range, but I swear like that business did better and they changed locations and now it's a thing where you have to pay to go there. I just said no. You guys have fun. But Bert goes to turn on the radio for some music, and the first thing that comes in, it's some like the end of some radio broadcast. Some announcer guy talking about how 202, 208, and the Coast Highway are out, and use 1A and 9, and there's flash flood warnings, and boring. So he switches to another channel that's got some. I don't really care for this music, but I guess it's fine for them. I guess it's supposed to be romantic. But typical drunk, he's playing his music too loud and shouting over it. So they got that right. John Rogers says it is expensive. I'm searching. Yeah, it's a. I'd be like, maybe they technically like they're. I didn't exactly check. They might be closer to my house, but it doesn't matter how close you are if there's a pay to play. So then Burke starts to give Carolyn, these little like compliments that always go directly to her head, and tells her to forget his war with the Collins family right now. So over in the Collinwood foyer, Roger tells David to use his silly crystal ball to find Victoria, or better yet, maybe David should just ask, or Roger should just ask David where Victoria is. So we're back up at the secret room, and Victoria, it's like her hair is total, like it looks nice when it's all disheveled like this, but at the same time she's upset. So like your hair is pretty, but I don't want you to be this upset. Like her hair is just so like she's been laying on it. It's kind of just it's usually like pulled back, and then like the rest of it is just let down. But some of it's kind of like falling down on the sides. It looks really pretty. But again, like she's super scared, so it's kind of hard to watch. And like she's cold, she's tired. She hears a noise outside the door, but it's nobody's there. This is when I noticed I probably noticed it before. Maybe you have too. But like she's always wearing this. It's like a charm bracelet, and one of the charms, it's like about the size of a quarter, maybe smaller, but it's like a flat disc. It doesn't seem to have any kind of engraving or anything, but she just always has this charm bracelet on. She's just, just looking around, cold, scared, can't do anything, and just stuck there. Thunderstorm still going on outside. So back at Burke's room, Carolyn asks Burke if he's ever been in love. Burke's like, yeah, once. Like, what, do you think I'm going to say you? It's kind of like that thing that he's drunk, so she might think she's going to catch him off guard, and he's going to say something, he's going to let something slip. Like, he's going to admit he has feelings for her, and you're just in her head. Over in the foyer, Liz comes downstairs. She asks David about this key she found on his desk. Like, well, why do you have this? It goes to the West Wing. Roger's like, how can he have that key? Only you have all of the keys, Liz. And that's when Liz explains that the keys have duplicates, and just each one, like the top of them is just like fancy in such a way that you can tell them apart based on the top of the key. And David's like, oh, well, I found it a long time ago, and I never used it. And Liz, oh, that's all you had to tell me. I believe you. And he kisses him on the head and just goes upstairs. But when Liz is out of the room, that's when Roger's looking at David like, sure. He doesn't buy it for a second. So back at Burke's room, he's flirting with her so hard, and it's almost sad the way she's just like falling for it, just totally does not realize she's being used, and just eating everything he's putting out at her, and just believes absolutely everything he says. But then it's starting to get. He starts telling this story about like, oh, one time I was marooned on an island with like a beautiful chief's princess for 3 days, but nothing happened. And Carolyn's like, I don't believe you were with the girl for 3 days and nothing happened. He's like, oh, sure it was. Like, well, we were alone together in a room. And Carolyn's like, wait, I thought you said you were on an island. He's like, don't interrupt me. Every man's his own island. So anyway, and he's just trying to like basically equate some kind of story about being with some rich girl, but he couldn't hit on her because that would look bad for like the tribe, and their chief would have kicked his ass, so he couldn't have flirted with her, and it just he kind of equating that to the situation with him and Carolyn, vaguely, and uh, but he's just trying to make himself sound like a good guy. Oh, I can be around women and be trusted, or just whatever he's trying to get across. He often tells these stories that don't really mean anything. He's just rambling to kind of fill time. Not that it's boring, but he's just like filibustering. It's impressing her, so he's just saying words to impress her. It doesn't have any meaning beyond that. He knows that, she doesn't know that. But it gets to a point where she thinks it's time to leave, so she sets down her drink and grabs her coat and her purse, and just about as she's gonna go, he's gotta, stop her, turn around. They kiss just the once, and then she leaves, just flutters out. She's so happy, and then Burke turns around like, I got this chick right where I want her. She fell for that hook, line, and sinker. Bruh, she's got it bad. So it's been she even mentioned, like, this is like the most wonderful evening I've ever had. She must have had better nights than this. I think she's just saying that to be nice. I've never hung out with a drunk millionaire before. So over in the living room, there's Roger, and he's just a toast to Victoria Winters, wherever you are. Just he doesn't need a reason to drink. But we do see Victoria in the secret room. As she's been looking around, she sees something. It kind of looks like a little, like maybe it's one of those vases that's made out of that really thick white glass. But she finds it, and practically it's it's probably like that shatter sugar glass. But she finds that. She looks up at that window. Just chucks it at it. It just shatters against those bars. Is it nothing? Window doesn't break, and just like that. That was her only shot at that. What the hell else am I gonna do? So she's looking around more. There's that paper. Again, all those papers just strewn about. So she just grabs one. And she realizes, she looks through the keyhole. She realizes the key's in there, or sees it there. So she slides the paper under the door, and she's got a pin and knocks the key out. The key falls on the paper, and really slowly pulling the paper back in and gets it all the way in and lifts it up. And just the door was too low. It caught the key, so it couldn't get pulled in. So it's not even that worked. And then for the credits, we just get to see outside that locked door for the credits. That is so depressing. She's doing everything to get out of there. So I gotta burn down this building just to get out? What the hell? That really sucks. She's having a time of it. They don't show it a lot. It's really like this other happy stuff going on. Then we cut over to Victoria just having the worst time of it. There's other people having a good time, and it's nice. And then it's Victoria, and she's getting scared by a ghost. So it's very night and day, this episode. All right, episode 87 was October 25, 1966. We're still in that thunderstorm at night on the 10th day. And in the intro, it's Victoria saying how Collinwood has more than 80 rooms. Most of them are closed off. So we're down in the foyer. We get a shot of the clock. It's 11:20 p.m. and Roger just checking his watch, making sure his watch has the right time. So we don't really know exactly when she went in, but it's been sometime this evening. It's a few hours. And we're in that secret room there. Yeah, there's Victoria with her hair. It's like mostly down. It looks like her hair is so thick. It looks so pretty. It was it's everything she could think to do. She's just waiting, sitting in there. Then we are in the foyer again. We see the clock. Now it's 12:07 a.m. So we're in day 11 now. And we're in the living room. My doors open up. Carolyn comes back. And Roger mentions how Victoria wasn't at dinner. Could she be at the Evans cottage? And Carolyn's like, oh no, she wouldn't be there tonight. Maggie is dining with Joe Haskell. This is interesting. Now we go to the Evans cottage, but look at the coffee cups. Those are the coffee cups from Collinwood. But like I say, they're kind of shaped like that. It's like a section like that, and then a bigger section in teacup. And you can really tell that the edge of it is gilded. They don't. Why are the Collinwood cups at the Evans cottage? Usually they have different coffee cups. I'm sure they just grabbed whatever cups they could for the scene. At the time, nobody's going to care. But I noticed that because I like those cups. I'm like, how did they get those? But it's not like Roger gave Sam some coffee cups in between episodes. It's just a continuity error. If you notice it, fine. It's not going to ruin the scene. But I'm like, what? How you try to work out how those cups could have got there. It's fine. But Maggie, she's got a sleeveless dress. She's got her hair down. And Joe is over there. He's just telling all of these is his stories from working on the boats. And it's, Maggie's digging the stories, but he mentions that Carolyn never wanted to listen to anything he did on the job. And Maggie knows all about how a boat runs. Like she knows the names of like all of the different sails on a boat and what all of the ropes do. Like she just knows all this stuff and she's just listing it off like she's an Uber fan. Well, like she knows this stuff almost better than Joe does. Like he's like, I gotta look it up to make sure you're right. But he's really impressed. Like going from a chick who doesn't care what he does for his 9 to 5 to somebody who knows just about as much about your job as you do. Like he's hella impressed. But he's saying that he needs about at least a year and a half to even put a down payment on a boat. And that's when Maggie's like, sometimes my pop makes me so mad I could kick him in the pants. Thinking, what? And even Joe's like, what? She's like, well, what happened was about 10 years ago, Sam sold about $15,000 worth of paintings and blew it all. It's like that. That's she could have, if they would have still had that kind of money around, she could have, I'm just, thinking like, hey, she could have like lent him money towards him getting a boat if they still had any of that around, but apparently it's all gone. It's like, you know what? Just because of that, I'm going to take that old bottle of brandy my dad's been saving and I'm going to do these coffees up right. So she grabs the liquor, adding a bit of brandy to their coffees. Like, so now it's a party. But how much was that? $15,000 in 19. It would have been 10 years ago. So $15,000 in 1956. Oh my God. Today that's worth $178,663.24. Yeah, that's some walking around money. And Maggie does not seem like any like a drinker at all. Like she sees what her dad's like. If she does have a drink, it's probably like a drink on New Year's or at the bar. But she's not a sloppy drunk. Like waking up late, missing shifts, kind of a just very responsible girl. So over in the living room, Roger pours himself a drink. And it must be later. Carolyn's in a nightgown, just this really flowy, loose fabric. It's not doesn't show off her figure at all. Just nightgown. But Carolyn is saying that, well, don't tell her mother. But I was with Burke, and he was drinking with Sam Evans, and he said I should have brought Victoria with me. That's how I know he hasn't seen her. Roger, well, if I thought she was in danger, I'd look for her, but, well, she can't be far. Now we see the clock again. It's 2:15 a.m. But at the Evans cottage, it must be Joe checking his watch. He says it's 2:17, and he's got it's about that time. And thanks Maggie for a wonderful dinner and a nice evening, and he kind of wants confirmation again. Like do you think I'm dumb for just chasing my dream this way? Even though he's got a sure thing just working for the Collins family for the rest of his life. And then Maggie says, yeah, anyone who knows what they want and goes after it isn't ignorant. So Joe kisses her on the cheek, and he's out for the night. So it's, oh, what's up, NT? Glad you made it. It's somewhere, Maggie. It's something. So in the living room, Roger goes over to there's that desk that's got that phone on it, and there's a painting above it. It's got drawers. He opens the drawer that's closest to the camera. It's got like these slats in it, and he pulls out a flashlight. A big flashlight. It's like a long flashlight that's silver with that one end on it. It's not like now where flashlights come in all varieties and stuff. It's a silver stick with a light on the end. But he takes that out, and then sort of like right behind us, there's another. It almost looks like the wet bar, where it's a cupboard where you can see the it has proper legs, but there's nothing down there. It's only when you get about chest high that's when you got like the part where you can open up and there's stuff inside. Well, he walks up to that, and up along the edge of it, the top, he just sort of touches, like when you're like running your finger along something, you just kind of like touch something underneath that lip of it there. But as he touches that, the wall opens up. Like it's paneled walls, but a whole ass section of that opens up. It's a door. It we never That's never been referenced before. Nobody would have any reason to think that that's a door. We don't see hinges. Nobody's leaning on it. Nobody has done anything with this door up to this point to make us think that there could to think there would be a door. It just we thought it was a wall. It's a door. It's the part that's in between that cupboard and next to the phone. If I didn't describe it well with my pointing, but that opens up. So Roger goes in. Secret passage. And then about a minute later, Carolyn walks in. Oh, Uncle Roger, I forgot to tell you. And there's just nobody in there. Like, where the hell could he have gone? It's that room doesn't lead anywhere else, but there's nobody in there, so she just. Oh. So now we're in one of those dark West Wing hallways with the cobwebs and the crooked paintings and just random furniture just shoved somewhere, like chairs, just picture frames with nothing in them, low lighting. And it's a few of these corridors he's going through. It's really good flashlight acting because it's like as he's walking on the floor, he's got the light shining right where his feet are. Or when he walks into a room, he has to like shine the light at the camera so we're blinded for a second before moving on. So like very good flashlight acting. But he's walking really slow. It's the same way you would walk through rooms that you've either never been in before or it's just been so long. You're like, oh, is this the way I remember it? Oh, okay. And just, it's that. He's not like confidently strutting towards where Victoria is. He's very just like, I guess this is right. It's kind of making his way through. But he's not talking. It's not like he's stopping every 5 feet. Vicky, Miss Winters. No, he's being quiet. Kind of like he was, like I was saying, it was like he was there ages and ages ago, but it's just been so long. He goes up they're metal spiral stairs. We've never seen spiral stairs on the floor. It looks very cool, but he goes up there. Then we see the room again, the secret room. Victoria, she's lying on the cot. She's got this blanket over her that has these three white stripes. Like you got like the top edge of it over so far, then you got like these three white stripes, and then most of it is just the same pattern. We're gonna see that blanket a lot. This is just the first time I'm seeing. I'm not gonna point out every time we see it probably, but if you notice it there and you continue to notice it for years, I think it's the same blanket. Oh, what's up, Lisa Gray? Said hi, Nikki, and the rest of you. Yeah, what's up? Glad you made it. Way too much salt in this. Drinking seawater when I'm talking about a show that takes place in Maine. But Victoria hears a noise, so she's, of course, instantly up. Hello, is someone out there? So Roger hears that, and he decides to be a dick. He doesn't say, "Oh, here I am." He sees like there's again like just stuff piled up, so he like knocks something over, so it falls, crashes, makes a noise. So Victoria's in the room, so she's scared. She jumps. He's taken he finds an old cane, and he's just like running it back and forth. It's like a wooden cane on a wooden door, so it's making that sound. And she was right up by the door, so that scares her too. Then he starts throwing his voice, "Oh, Miss Winters, leave Collinwood," or just something like that. She's just scared as hell. She's probably thinking it's another ghost. She's shaking. She's totally creeped out. I would have been too. Then he finally goes up to the door and unlocks it. Now he can look like the big hero. Door opens up. Victoria runs. She's upset too. She runs into his arms. "Oh my God, Roger, I'm so happy to see you. David locked me in. He's a monster." And she's saying, like, you said he had the pen up here. He brought me up to the room and he locked me in, and he tried to kill you, and now he's tried to kill me. And then she saw a ghost, and he told me to get out of Collinwood. It was Bill Malloy. We've never seen Victoria so upset. But when Roger comes in, she's just so jangly and scared and relieved and just all the things. Like, oh my God, she's just so upset there. That is not cool to do to somebody. This is awesome. We get a great shot of those spiral stairs for the credits. What they did is it's lit from the top, so we can't see that light, but what we can see is the light going through like the grating of the stairs and hitting the floor. It casts the coolest shadow. Great shot. Spoilers, if you like those stairs, they will return. This is the first time we see them. I'm glad they're an actor on the show. They look hot. Oh, I don't want to do that. We're not stopping. So we're on episode 88. That was October 26, 1966. We're still in that 11th day. Remember, we passed midnight last night. So it's morning now. The storm's over. Sun's out. And we're in the living room, and Carolyn's sitting there just as calmly sipping her coffee, and Victoria's up. She's just pacing back and forth. She can't sit down. She's thinking about everything. And she sure does believe in ghosts now. She saw Bill Malloy. And that's when Liz is walking in, so she happens to hear that. And Roger mentioned David played a prank. Victoria says, "He tried to kill me. I'm leaving." So that's when Roger enters right then, and he agrees, like, yeah, this is no place for her. So Liz has Carolyn and Victoria step out of the room so she can talk to Roger. And Roger said that David said it was a prank. And then Roger calls it an accident. And Liz says there's been too many accidents at Collinwood lately. Lisa Gray, shadows, dark shadows, and lit stairwells. Yeah, it just for this show, it's just like dark corridors and great lighting and shadows cast. Like you would not guess the name of the show from watching it. Great lighting. It's, again, with black and white. That's one thing you have to pay more attention to is the lighting, and they know what they're doing. I don't know. I can barely lit a colored show or a color show, let alone lighting stuff in black and white. Then I was watching a video about how they had to do makeup back when everything was like back in the pre-talkie days, and it was a guy doing it. So he did his makeup the way fellas would have done it back then, and then he did a lot of tricks with the lighting, like on the camera side. And I'll be damned, he looked just like a Hollywood actor from the 1920s, just from that the oddest combination of makeup and colors you can think of, and just it works. It works. Up in Victoria's room, she's still in her pajamas. And by pajamas, these girls just wear like some kind of like a long, loose fitting, a gown for PJs. It's not like t-shirt and shorts or something how we do nowadays. But she just can't believe that she was gone for that long, and she says but she says Carolyn's coming. That's who she's talking to. Victoria said, "Didn't anybody miss me?" That doesn't seem like it. That's oof. That's rough. This is Carolyn's wearing her. It's a sweater and a plaid skirt. And Carolyn's like, well, she didn't know what was going on. She was out, and the only reason she went out was because Joe had a date with Maggie. Victoria said, you had a date with Burke Devlin. Carolyn, it's different. He was being nice. And as much as Victoria wants to leave, she still feels sorry for David because Collinwood is his whole world. That's pretty rough. You spent like half the night locked up in a room and you still feel sorry for the kid, but she's a just different kind of person. I guess she's known a lot of troubled kids growing up too, but wow. But down in the living room, Liz is upset about what David did to Victoria. So she asks Roger, have you ever seen a ghost in Collinwood? Roger's like, I don't know. Like maybe like he's heard things that he couldn't explain before, but like he's never seen like a figure moving about, but he's sort of low key admitting like kind of could have been. He's like, you know what? Let's see if she was really not necessarily telling the truth, but let's actually go back to that room and see what she saw, in the light of day. So Roger grabs a flashlight. He and Liz are going to go check. So up in Victoria's room, Carolyn's saying how Victoria is the only person she can talk to about Burke. She says to Victoria, do you always have to be so honest? Yeah. And she says how Burke was drunk. It was like he was celebrating. She sure didn't ask. Like everybody, like you're a completely different person just because you're drunk. Well, explain Roger. I know she's just seeing what she wants to see. But up in the secret room, Roger and Liz are there. It is so much different in the light of day. It's when you can, see the walls properly. Roger said Victoria said she fell asleep, and it could have been a dream. And Liz has never been in here before, so she's looking around and just at it. And then she realizes, like, these are David's things. He locked her in here on purpose. That Roger says, I went back to listen to this. Now the DVDs don't have subtitles, and then if you watch the subtitles on Tubi, sometimes those are completely wrong. Sometimes the actors say sentences, and then you read the subtitle, and it's like mumbling. Like, no, they're not mumbling. I heard those words. The reason why we're here today is because of words an actor said, but you wouldn't know from the subtitles because it just says mumbling or something like that. He did not mumble. I heard those words. So I couldn't rely on subtitles for this. I just had to play it back a few times and listen really closely. I heard the second word clearly, but the first word, what I heard Roger say is that, like it might be extreme for me to say this as his father, but David's an insipid psychopath. Now he did say psychopath. I heard that, but insipid. I haven't looked up the definition. Would that fit there? I don't know. That's it. It kind of doesn't matter. It's just one word. But I'm like, what? He did call him a psychopath. Like, you would know, bruh. But this is when Liz points at the floor. There's that seaweed. Oh my god, it's still there. And it's still wet. Ew. Oh, that's so creepy. Not only is it ghost seaweed, but it's still wet. No. Why do you gotta get moisture involved? Lisa Gray, yeah, the plot thickens, right? So down in the living room, Liz is saying that ghosts are they're the restless spirits, and they won't rest until a wrong has been righted. And Victoria said the ghost had seaweed on it. So that's when Carolyn and Victoria come down. Carolyn's just, tell her to stay. This is Victoria's wearing it's a sleeveless dress. And it's sort of like it doesn't stop at the waist. It is all one piece, but the actual like skirt part of it where it kind of, stops becoming a top and becomes like the bottom part. It's very it's low on the hip. The Victoria does have quite like wide hips. It's just very like shapely. So and this is like accentuates it shows that off. It is very flattering. I like it. I can't remember the color of it, but and I can't really describe it that well. But it does not stop at the waist. It goes like almost at the widest part of the hip is where the skirt part of it starts, and it has pockets. I can't wear it because it's sleeveless, but it looks good on her. Well, it figures you want to quit your job, so you wear your nicest dress, but ectoplasm seaweed, yeah, Lisa Gray, yeah, she knows. Yeah, see, they don't know about Ghostbusters yet in 1966, but yeah. It's one thing to say a place is haunted, it's another thing to uh, believe in ghosts, but it's a completely different thing for something physical to manifest where there was nothing before. Yeah, that's another level. Yeah, ectoplasm. But Liz does want Victoria to stay. Roger doesn't. Oh, it's too dangerous for you here. But Victoria wants to know why David hates her so much. Like, no, like, I'm not going to leave until I get some answers. And then we see that secret room for the credits. During the day this time, it's completely night and day seeing it during the day, but it's what it's locked in with a thunderstorm versus a nice sunny day, and you can leave whenever you want. So episode 89 was October 27, 1966. We are on disc 11. It's still that 11th day. Yeah, probably morning. If it was afternoon, I would have written that down, so let's just assume it's morning. But we're in Burke's room, and that Mr. Blair is there, and they're talking business. It's the bid that Burke put in on the Logansport Fish Industries. It was a fair amount, so they're kind of expecting to hear something back like within a week. I don't know if that's reasonable. I've never bought a fishing industry. Over in Collinwood in the living room, Roger's saying that Victoria is dangerous to have around because she's having these visions of ghosts and it's going to influence David negatively, so she should just go. But the phone rings, Liz answers, and it's a Mr. Garner, probably Richard Garner, one of Liz's lawyers up in Bangor. And he's just phoning to let her know what's going on, that Burke put an offer in on that Logansport cannery. And yeah, they have 10 days to outbid. And Roger just wants to cut and run. And Liz mentions like, well, you're not a fighter. I am. Damn straight. So over in Burke's his kitchen, it's a nice little kitchen for a hotel. But Mr. Blair is saying that Liz is going to put up a fight. She has loyal employees, and that's why her business has lasted so long. Burke's like, money talks. Then he gets a phone call, picks it up. Yeah, send them up, send them up. Pours a drink, day drinking. But, knock on the door. These four fellas walk in, just of a certain, probably older than Burke. And he greets them all, and it's sort of like only one of these guys we're really going to see again. Like, oh, hey, it's these, we learned that they're, say, like a fishing boat captains, or they're like actually running major parts of they're not just, say, like Joe Haskell level employees. These are like the top guys who work for the Collins family cannery. So Burke offers them, he gives them a real good pitch talking about, like, you've been working for them so long, and what do you have to show for it? Like, well, if you work for me, I'm gonna give you more money. You'll have a stock in the company, and you just offering them more than what they have now. And no, nobody's interested. Nobody's like when you're trying to like get people to like hey, this is a good idea, and you're looking at each other. Nobody's doing that. They're just no. So Lenny ups it up more, like, oh, okay, well, it loosens his tie a bit, like he's really gonna have to give them the super hard sell on this. So in the living room, Liz is saying that Burke can't buy the Collins family loyalty. So folks like Liz so much, and I'm sure she's good to them, that they are not going to, they're not going to budge, and she's not worried about it at all. But over in Burke's room, it's getting intense. He's got his coat off now. His tie is super loose, smoking a cigarette. And he's really trying to give it to him, like putting him out individually. Like, wouldn't you want to like take your family on a nice vacation? And wouldn't you like? So he's really trying to. I wonder how long they've been up here listening to this. But this one dude, his name is Amos Fitch. He's a fishing captain. And he's sort of like speaking for all the fellas there, and he's just, no sale. You're wasting our time. We gotta go. So back at Collinwood in the living room, Roger is saying that money talks, And loyalty goes to the highest bidder. But then there's a knock at the door. Liz answers. There's that Amos there. And he's just telling them what Burke's doing, just off trying to offer him more money and, talk to me and these other top fellas when he's just trying to buy us, and offers them a cut of the business too. And it just wanted to let her know, and they said no. So there's Roger. Oh, so it's money versus loyalty. So back at Burke's room, all those fellas have left, and Mr. Blair is saying, like, I think that Fitch is going to go tell Liz what you just offered them. You must watch the show. Burke says, good. If I get one, then I'll get the rest. And then he hands him an envelope. There's a $1,000 worth of loyalty right there. She's like, oh, it just sticks it in his coat pocket. $1,000 is $10K today. So this is when the phone rings. So Burke picks it up. And it's Liz on the other end telling him, like, I know what you're doing and you won't get away with it. Hangs up the phone. That's really all she had to say. I'm sure Burke said something back. But so that's when Liz tells Roger, it's Burke Devlin or it's us. Yeah, we see the living room for the credits. Yeah, that must have been morning. There's so much to do. All right, episode 90 was October 28, 1966. We're still in that 11th day. It is daytime. And we're up in Victoria's room, and she is packing her bag. But David walks in. He's a little bit more dressed up than usual. And he's saying how, like, when I said I wouldn't go to your funeral before, I didn't mean it. I would go to your funeral. I like funerals. And then he tells her about how, like, he used to play a game. I guess it was just called Funeral. But when he would play it, sometimes he would be the preacher, sometimes he would be the mourners, sometimes he would be the guy in the casket, sometimes he would be everybody. So Victoria's as weird as that. Like, I never played that game, so as weird as it is to hear somebody say that, Victoria's like, well, whose funeral were you pretending to be at? What do you think David's going to say? My father's. Never played funeral before. That sounds boring. I've been to funerals before. They're boring. If you know them, if you know the person who died, you're either there sitting there bored because you didn't know them, or you're sitting there sad because you did know them, and everything smells like flowers. That's why I can't be around real flowers. It just reminds me of funerals. That's why I like My Fair Lady so much. I don't have to smell any of that. I can just look at it. And flowers smell nice too. It's Lincoln died and everybody had to ruin it for us. Somebody died, now you got to murder plants. What's the logic in that? It's like the joke is, as soon as I finish killing this guy, the cycle of violence will be over. But anyway, David said that he didn't lock her in the room. He was talking to Josette Collins and another lady ghost. So that's been, Victoria tells him, like, oh, I saw Bill Malloy's ghost. I believe you now. Oh, now David, he wants her to stay. And he knows Bill Malloy was killed because he's a ghost, and then Josette was pushed from Widow's Hill. Like, she didn't jump. He knows she was pushed. And now he wants Victoria to stay. And as he's saying that, Carolyn walks in. Like, she's like, "Did you really say you want her to stay?" And he does. So, but he's done. So he leaves. So Carolyn asks Victoria, "Did you really see a ghost?" Victoria says, like, "It could have been a dream, but explain the seaweed." So what she did, I guess she sat and wrote down an entire account of what happened. So she's got it all written out in a book. And she's like shows it to Carolyn. She's like, "See, I wrote down everything." I even heard the ghost was singing that song, "What Do You Do with a Drunken Sailor?" Now, Victoria doesn't know that that was Bill Malloy's song. Everybody else does, she doesn't. So Carolyn hears that, and she's... Again, how would Victoria know that? And as they're having this little bit of a conversation, David is eavesdropping. Now we're just in the hallway that's outside of David and Victoria's room. And Matthew Morgan is back there. He's fiddling with the lock for the door that goes to the West Wing. He's replacing that. And he's saying that, David asks him what he's doing. So he tells him that, Miss Stoddard said that Victoria locked herself in one of the rooms. So that's why he's changing the lock on the door. David's like, "Oh, yeah, that must be what happened." So Carol, as Matthew's messing with it, he dropped something on the ground. It's just loud enough for Carolyn. Like, the door's right there. She's right in Vicky's room, so she steps out and sees him there. He's just doing something. Matthew's like, "Yep, just changing the lock. There's too many loose keys to that old lock." But over in Victoria's room, she's still packing, just going to the dresser and bureau, just pulling stuff out, putting it in. And Victoria says, "Yeah, David only wants me to stay because of the ghosts." But up in the hall, David is he left. He came back. He's telling Matthew, "Oh, Matthew, you got to look at this loose carpet down the hall. Somebody could trip and fall." Matthew, "All right, well, let me check that out." So they just leaves the door as it is. But in Victoria's room, Carolyn's been reading that, account that Victoria wrote of what happened. So she's just finally getting to the last page. And she could prove it if there was just some way they could get back to that room and, find the seaweed. She could, prove that really happened. So that's when Carolyn's like, "Wait a minute." Goes back out into the hallway. Nobody's there. So they just sneak right into the door, in through the door, and close it. And right as they're closing it, there's David at the far end of the hallway by the camera. He sees them go in there. Now this is Carolyn's wearing it's like a short sleeve sweater and a different plaid skirt. I know I said she was wearing a skirt before, but the one before it's like a very faded plaid. You really have to look for it. Where this is like you don't have to guess what this pattern is. You can just tell it must be a darker color. And then the sweater is interesting. It's not just like a sweater. It's like it goes down to it's got a proper sleeve on it. It's almost fitted. It's not so tight that it's showing off your whole form, but it is not it's not baggy. It's still going to show off your figure. I like it. I like the idea of a short sleeve sweater. It looks comfortable. I like it. I'm trying to think of what color it is. If it's a color I'm thinking of, let's just enjoy it in black and white. But now that they're in that door to the secret room, David just goes into Victoria's room and he finds that, account that she had written up, and nothing's gonna stop him from reading something he shouldn't. So that's when he picks it up and he's reading every single page. But later on in the hallway, Matthew is just finishing up with that lock, getting that installed. And David is saying that, yeah, Victoria said she saw Bill Malloy's ghost. Matthew grabs David's arm, like, what did it say? And David's like, whoa, whoa. He just talked about the night he was murdered, and I always thought so, and I can show you the room. Matthew's like, I wouldn't like that at all. He doesn't want to go in there. His reaction to finding out that there was a ghost there, that was, I was surprised by that too. He doesn't seem the type to have reactions like that. So when he does, it's like, whoa, what's he upset about? I wouldn't like that at all. But over in this, they're in the secret room in the West Wing now, and Victoria's like, I'm gonna hang on to this key while we're in here. And as she's looking around, this is one of those lines where I don't know if it was meant to be funny. Maybe it's just the way she says it, but it's kind of hilarious. But it's just looking around and just casually mentions how it's not so bad in here in the daylight. Watch her do it. Carolyn says it's horrible in any light. But they look on the ground. There's no seaweed. Like the ground is not wet. There, you would not know anything was there. It's just a bare spot on the floor. And then Victoria's like, well, let me show you what I tried to do. She closes the door and she just grabs another just random piece of paper off the desk. She's like, this is what I did. And she slides the paper under the door. Now what we're looking at now, you can tell the door they used before is different. Like this door, like there's like a couple of inches of space through versus the door yesterday that was like this. So it's like we're in the same room, but they just must have screwed a different door on for this scene. But she's like, well, this is what I did with the paper under the door, and then the key, and then when I tried to pull it out, it wouldn't stay on the paper. It didn't, like this time it works, but last night it didn't, and she doesn't I wouldn't understand why either. But it works. That key trick works. She left the key in the door, closed it, popped it out, it fell on the paper, pulled it back in. Plot twist, they get locked in. No. Wouldn't it be terrible? Here, let me show you what happened when I was locked in the room, closes the door. Uh they don't get locked in. It was funny at the time. But Victoria, she's like me, like I don't understand why it worked last night, or it didn't work last night and it works today. Just that's so weird, and she's kind of staring at that paper that she's holding on to. She's just really staring at it. And she's like, Carolyn, who are Garner and Garner? Carolyn, oh, that's Mother's lawyers in Bangor. Why? She's like, because I'm looking at, you can tell from the back of it. She's like, so I'm looking at this ledger paper here. And there's a line here for a B. Hanscom. Now remember, B. Hanscom is the name that Victoria had found before, and then she goes to the Evans cottage and finds that painting Sam did. Like, oh yeah, that's Betty Hanscom. So it's like now this name's coming back up again on this old ledger paper. Why is that name there? But it's like, we've been in here long enough. Let's go. They leave. Victoria locks the door behind her. And they get out. But they go to Victoria's room. David's just standing there, just waiting for them. And they're, like, why are you in my room? And not Victoria, but David goes up to Victoria, like, Miss Winters, I love you. And then he leaves. And Victoria's like, that's odd. Has he ever said he loved anything before? Carolyn's like, yeah, once. Back when they lived in Alberta, David had a cat. I'm not going to finish that story because I watched these back. There's a line that you don't cross with me, and that's animal cruelty, and David stepped over that line. So, fuck him. If you want to watch the end of episode 90, you can. I'm not going to repeat it here, but yeah, that's there's probably the last thing you want to fuck with me about is hurting animals, and yeah, there's a line you don't cross, and he crossed it. So, and any sympathy I had for this kid completely gone. He is a psychopath. That's when you're abusing animals. That's a symptom of you shouldn't be breathing air anymore. But it's a sign of other mental illness. Yeah, that's not good. Good episode though. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, that's just the one thing I don't. There's one thing I don't joke about in the entire world, and that's it. I'll joke about anything else, even if it's bad stuff, but not that. That's not cool. Episode 91 was October 31st, 1966. We're still on, it's daytime on the 11th day. We're in the living room. And Victoria she's mentioning to Carolyn, she's talking about that Betty Hanscom, that portrait I just told you about at the Evans cottage. She's like, well, maybe, I don't know, maybe I got that first name wrong. Hold on. And so she gets on the phone that, hey, Mr. Evans, it's, Victoria Winters. What was the name of that girl in that picture that I found? Betty? Yeah, oh, okay, thanks. So it was Betty. But they look so similar, they must be connected. So Carolyn says to, well, dude, ask Liz. And that's right when she's walking in. She's wearing this, it's, her cross dots dress. It's polka dots that are like going in like a crisscross fashion, and that pattern is going on for the entire dress. It's just these random, like the dots are kind of like randomly on the top, but it does have that cross pattern of dots going on with it. It just there's lots of dots on this dress. And like part of it is sheer. It's almost like part of the top of it is sheer, and it is all very dark. I'm trying to recall the color. I don't remember if it's black and white in color as well. But she's wearing the double pearls, and it also has a 3/4 sleeve, so it's like halfway down the forearm. But Victoria's like, oh, Liz is like, ask me what? And Victoria's like, oh, I was just so wondering if I could get a few days off after what happened. Liz is like, so you're staying? There was a little crack of thunder right before Liz walked in. How many thunderstorms are we going to get in one day? But Victoria's saying how David apologized and asked her to stay, and she just wants to go to the, Bangor, stay at the hotel. So Liz is like, well, we got friends in Bangor, you can stay with them. And Victoria, she wants some time alone so she can think. And so she's gonna, go to grab her stuff. And Liz is then saying to Carolyn that it's weird that David asked her to stay. So we're outside of the Collinsport Inn. And then we go inside. It's nice to see these like really quick outside shots. But Carolyn goes in. She orders coffee from Susie. Gets on that phone that's right there by the entrance. Calls up for Burke. Hangs up her coat. They do have coat hooks in the restaurant right there by the phone by the door. And she is there with Victoria. She's taking Victoria into town because Vicky's going to catch the bus into Bangor. And Carolyn's like, yeah, wouldn't it be great if your family were like rich bankers? Victoria's like, stop it. I already went through all of those scenarios, back at the orphanarium. So her plan is to call the Garners when she gets into town and it set something up to, she wants to see them first thing tomorrow morning. And just then Burke comes in, oh, what a surprise. Like Carolyn didn't just call him down. So Carolyn's like, yeah, Vicky's going to Bangor. She saw Bill Malloy's ghost. Bill's like, Burke's like, you saw what? It's like, you know what? I have to go to Bangor on business. Where's your luggage? And Carolyn's like, oh, well, I thought you and I could spend time together today. So now she's pissed off. Like, she really thought she was going to drop off Vicky for the bus and then, call Burke down. And then she and he were going to have a nice time together while Victoria was out of town. And that just got blown out of hell. So we see that we're inside of a car. And, Burke is driving. There's Victoria there. And she's saying that she knows she saw Bill Malloy's ghost. Like, I don't know, the more she thinks about it, I think she realizes it wasn't a dream. So in the foyer, the clock chimes 5:30 p.m. And then Carolyn walks in the front door. We hear somebody was playing piano. They stop. So in the living room, Carolyn walks in. She's upset. There's Liz sitting at the piano, like, oh, what's wrong? And Carolyn, she just wants Victoria to leave. I just want her to leave Collinwood. She's with Burke Devlin right now, probably telling him just everything about us. So over in the car, Victoria says she's letting Burke know how David locked me in a room. She says, do you believe in ghosts? Burke's like, no. Victoria says, me either, but I sure saw one. And it sang that song that, what would you do with a drunken sailor? And Burke's like, yep, that means it was killed. It's like, I knew it, just that fucking, he doesn't swear, it's just me saying it my way, but that fucking Roger and Sam just, like, he kind of wishes they were just both, like in so many words, kind of wishes they were both dead. Victoria's like, you don't mean that. Burke's like, the hell I don't. And we get the living room for the credits. There's been thunder this whole time, but no rain. That is Swaley. That's Minecraft. I hate to say, ever since I started watching Minecraft, I'm not watching a lot of Minecraft. I'm not watching a lot of Swaley and Puff lately. Yeah, that's the end of episode 91. That's a good place to end it off. Ended off in a better place than last time. At least it's not Victoria getting locked in a room. She's out of it now and just doing something about it. The first time I watched this through, it felt like she was in there for days. Maybe it's just because it takes, days on the show, but it felt like she was in there for so much longer than she was. And then to actually watch it back, like, I mean, like, you can say, like, yeah, it was only an evening, but, like, she got the hell scared out of her, so I'm sure it felt longer for her, too. But, oh, Lisa, great. Yeah, if that song's stuck in your head, listen to the way they sing it on the show. Or no, I think you said like, yeah, it's not early, it's early in the morning, which is, we don't hear it said that way, but then you watch it on the show. I'm like, that's the way they're pronouncing it. Yeah, you do kind of hear it a lot. It's not like Easy Street for The Walking Dead. They're not torturing you with the song. It just comes up every so often here in this bit. It's funny because I don't think we ever heard. Maybe we heard Bill Malloy sing once, but it's not like every time he walked into a room he was singing that song. He didn't come off like Sam. I could see singing a song, but Bill Malloy, maybe it was because of all the Burke stuff, but he just seemed more serious. Like he would only sing if he was like smashed, effed up, drunk, at a party or something, not just out and about, like off to the post office and singing a song. He just didn't come off that way to me. But maybe that's because we didn't know him in better days. But maybe he sang on the boat. We weren't on the boat with him, but I guess that was his jam. Yeah. They don't like beat you over the head with it. Later on, there are gonna be there's a I like this song later on. I'm not complaining about it, but it does kind of like come up a little bit on Dark Shadows. I think it's cute though. It's not annoying to me at all. I started singing it myself, but that's hundreds of episodes away. So it does come up. It doesn't come up a lot. They more mention the song than sing it. So if you are the type to get a song stuck in your head, it's not too bad. To just think about the intro song or the credits song instead, and then you won't have to. But that was that's his theme song. That's his if you fight him as a boss, you have to like hit him while you're listening to What Would You Do with a Drunken Sailor. I tried to find that. I tried to, because there's an answer to like, what do you do with a drunken sailor? And it was like a tweet or something, or no, it was an article. A drunken sailor like locked up and fined, or like I was trying to find that on Tumblr, but like I was saying, you can't find anything on Tumblr. There's a search engine, there's a search bar. You can type in it, hit enter, but you're not going to find what you're looking for. So it's fate driven. You have to just wait and show up, and it's there. So Victoria is keeping her job, even though they're scaring the hell out of her. And the boy tried to kill her because she just needs answers about her past that badly. It seems like no matter. She doesn't seem like an extreme person, so when she says these things, like I think she means it, but then she might go off, not go off, but like go off by herself and think about it. Like, wait, did I really mean that? Like in the grand scheme of things, and she sort of seems like sort out her own shit, and then like, well, I know what I said, but now I think this, so I'm gonna proceed this way. She doesn't, when she makes a decision, she sticks with it. She's not flighty like Carolyn, who doesn't know herself and doesn't know why she's chasing after guys. So Victoria seems to, when she gets her quiet time by herself, she's thinking things through and trying to be like logical and level-headed about it. But you see a ghost and there's seaweed and you're locked in a room, that's gonna whack you out a bit. I would want to know what that ghost wanted too. As scared as I would have been, like, well, maybe we can like talk when I'm not locked in a room and get this sorted out. Maybe it's maybe you don't want to be coming here and haunting us every single night. We've got stuff to do. Can you haunt our neighbors? You don't really have neighbors at Collinwood. So yeah, right now it just looks like it seems like the whole rest of the month is just regular weeks, how it has been, except for Thanksgiving, which I mean I'll go live that day. It's a Thursday, but as far as I know, it's I worry about missing. As far as ads go, and quite frankly, I'm more worried about missing information as to when like he's gonna be taking time off because I need to know that because maybe I want to go live when he's off. Um, I think I've caught every, and I don't watch anything back, so like I think I've caught everything. So if he has said, oh, and I don't know if he's gonna be off on some random ass Tuesday, then I missed it. But I don't think he said that. He usually takes Thanksgiving off. I guess I can't remember last year. Um, well, he mentioned the Wednesday show beforehand, so I would assume he's gonna be off then, which is fine. We can just be here. I swore about food for Thanksgiving, and I got two things. One was Marie Callender, and the other was Sara Lee. And because I was going to make a joke that two ladies were making my Thanksgiving, but I can't remember what the other one was. I've been trying. It hurts too. I don't know what I did last year. I know I had Thanksgiving one year the day before. It might have been last year, just because like well nothing's right with all my family dead and my cat's dead, so why have the proper food on the proper holiday? Why don't I just have it the day before? Because I did sort of did it like that. But the only reason that was bad is I had chicken the day before, and then turkey is just like a less good chicken, so I'm like I just basically ate this yesterday, but I didn't have stuffing, and chicken's better than turkey, and kind of ruined it for myself. That's all right. It's just another day. But yeah, I'm glad you guys had a couple of extra hours on a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday to hear about some Dark Shadows. It just looks like a regular week next week. Oh man, I'm sorry if you guys are getting snow and stuff already. That sucks. I've had that heat on for, I don't know, since before New Year's, so it just, I'm not putting up with all that cold and shivering. I'll keep it cold in here. I'll turn the heat off at a certain point for this show so everything's not warm. And then I'll just turn it right back on. It's probably not even that cold. It's just because my weight's lower. So it's probably at least 75 degrees in here. So it's not that terrible for everybody else. The equipment doesn't like it warm, so I've got to keep it cold. So I'm playing Minecraft and I'm shivering with the heat off. But as long as the equipment's happy, then I'm good. Just extra trips to the bathroom. As long as you're happy, laptop. But yeah, you guys are the best. Check out some Dark Shadows if you want to see this clothing that I can't really describe. That dot dress is just so confusing about what's happening with Liz. Like everything fits. It's flattering. It just like the dots are just confusing, and then part of it's sheer, and just it's a little bit too much pattern on Liz, but it's okay. Like it fits her well. It looks nice. Andy, yeah, thanks, Nikki. Have a great night. Yeah, you guys too. Smash the like button on the way out. Don't forget your pants. You're going to need those all week. And quite frankly, I do have to stop cutting myself off at the end of these. I don't know why I got so bad at that, but suddenly I'm hitting end stream before. It's the delay. That's what messes me up. I've forgotten the delay all of a sudden. But yeah, thank you guys for showing up and remembering your pants and being based and being frankly is. Oh, Lisa Gray said, good to hear, see you. Got the wood stove stoked and ready to yank dinner out of the oven. Have a good evening, Nikki and Chatters. Hell yeah. Oh, wood stove? That's retro. That's what they've got at the cottage. Yeah, enjoy dinner. Good night, Nikki from John Rogers. Yeah, good night to you too. Everybody, take it easy. Get some good sleep. Get something to eat. Smoke out on the balcony. Get some good sleep. Great seeing everybody. Until next time.